Good morning, world. And today it's Friday, the 25th of November, and another great do-it-yourself day. I am going to mount the fireplace today into the opening here. And first, we'll start by drilling a hole through the wall so we can actually have the cold air coming in to feed the fire. Afterwards, we'll put the tubing that I have right here into the chimney, basically, one after the other, and then we will be ready to insert the fireplace into the opening. So keep watching, because I hope by tonight that I can sit by the fireplace. Or maybe not. I kind of pre-drilled the holes in the wall all around the circle. And now it's time for some more serious work, so I'm going to use a Bosch hammer now to knock out the bricks. So I'm going to continue to drill the hole from this side with the brake hammer, and then I'll do the other thing from the other side from outside. So then the two holes will line up and I basically can then stick the tube in. It's going to take a little bit of time before I'm done with this. So I'm not going to bother you showing you the hole drilling through the wall. These walls are extremely thick, unfortunately. They are like 1.20 meters, but with the cutout I have already for the fireplace, I have about 60 centimeters left. So keep watching. So there is the hole through the wall. I just got this done, and now I'm ready to put the tube through it. But while I was doing so, I came across a whole bunch of buddies, you know, dead birds. I mean, there's like about 4 or 5 of them cadavers I found. It's always the same with these fucking blackbirds. I mean, they get in your chimney and they fall down, can't get out. And this is really a problem, the blackbirds where I live. Anyhow, I'm ready to put the tube in. And this tube that I'm about to put in is actually for the cold air intake of the fireplace. So there you go. See, I still have a bit of play with it, and I want to keep it like this because I still have to attach it to the fireplace once the fireplace is inserted in the hole. But first of all, I now need to do the tubing of the chimney itself. Well, let me show you that. So this is the chimney where on the top I've placed the light on. I don't know if you can see it properly, but that's it. And let me just go up a bit. And that's where I have to put the tubing through. Shouldn't be all that hard to do. That's the tubing I need to stick through the chimney, and I'll do that. I got about 15 pieces, so that's enough for about 15 meters, and that should do it. At the end, we'll give it a few good knocks on the top. After a lot of hassle and eating dust, I finally got the tube inside the chimney, as you can see. And it goes all the way to the end. I put about 10 pieces up, which is near to 9 meters. And in the bright spot that you see, that's actually a light which I have placed on top of the chimney so I can see what I'm doing. So now I need to continue with putting the convection grills up. A fireplace works on the principle of convection, meaning it has to suck in air and then basically push it out back in the room. And therefore, with the Igreen-Ifire, you have to have convection rosters in the wall. And that's just one of them, which we can actually place over here in the wall. So I need to do that. And in the back, then you have these aluminum tubes like this one. They're coming out, basically, and then you connect it to the fireplace. They have connectors on the top of them, so then room air will go through the fireplace, actually not inside the fire burning area, but around the cage, and then come back out through these rosters. So that's the intent of these convection rosters. You always have to place those. You should not do it without it, because then you may damage the fireplace and you won't have the high efficiency. So I'm going to put those two rosters up now, and then we continue with actually mounting the fireplace inside the opening. Putting the rosters up is pretty simple. Of course, you need to figure out where you want to have them first, and that you have space enough in the back of it. So I took one of those, and then I just lined it up, and then you pencil trace it around it, so then you know exactly where to cut it. Be always careful that you know that the part that goes in front of it is going to overlap actually the cut, as you can see. Right? So otherwise you will have a bit of a problem. So now let's go and cut them out. And we have two of them to do, but that shouldn't take too much time. So now that should fit. So let's see. Yep. And now we can actually hold it in place with the next roster, which I will put up here. And then we should be all set. The only thing I have to do still is to lock down the roster with these pins here, but that you do from the back. So I have the Ifire lifted up with a pulley. So now I'm going to mount a few rails underneath, and these are the rails that I will mount underneath the Ifire. And then I can actually slide them down on those rails. At least that's the intent. We'll see how that goes. It should work pretty well because I had it already pre-aligned. So, but before, and then once that's done, then I'll need to put in some more stuff, and we'll see how it goes. All right. I've built this construct so that the fireplace, which has now been pulled up with a pulley, can actually rest on the rails here underneath. Here are the rails, and I actually support the rails with some lateral steel tubes that I have here, which I actually bolted down on the sides, and just to make sure that it is tight, and it is. So this is now ready to lower the fireplace. So let's see if this is going to work or not. I hope it does. So I have the fireplace on the rails. So now it's just a matter of pushing it back and then connecting all the tubes. You might notice the white stuff on the fireplace. That is a thermal coat. Basically, it keeps the heat inside the fireplace so it does not radiate. So I can actually have a much better convection system coming out of these tubes right here. Because remember that on the top here and over there, that's where these rosters, these aluminum tubes that I mounted before, will now connect to. So this is all for the convection purposes. So now let's see if I can get it in. So it is almost in. It sticks out 10 more centimeters, but now I'm going to look from the outside to connect the cold air tube to the back of the fireplace. So the fireplace is finally in place. I'm checking it with the laser right now to see if it's nice and horizontal, as you can see, and also vertical. So that looks quite good. And now I have connected all the tubes. I have connected the exhaust tube, actually the smoke tube, and also connected to convection tubes. Now these are still a bit loose,
but I will disconnect those later when I repaint the wall, and then I finally fix them to the wall. All what's left now is actually the surroundings, put some gyprocs back up, and then put the inside inserts inside the fireplace, because it doesn't have anything in it for the moment. I still have to put in all the fire protecting stones and then the grids and all that. So that's it for today, and I hope by next week I'll have it burning. Thank you for viewing.